Back today with another video on the engine for the Speed 3, the Gen 1. I got all like the annoying stuff done earlier, I think it was yesterday, and pretty much just have to do assembly now. So basically what I did is I took the time and I measured out all of my piston ring gaps, made sure that they were all within spec. These are just my oil control rings on there, the first layer of them. I didn't actually measure those out since they pretty much don't have a spec as far as I know. As long as they're not touching, I guess it's fine. However, these I did measure out. The only one that got kind of funky was this one here. I don't really know why. Could have just been my piston ring grinder. Also, if you're ever in the market for a piston ring grinder because you're building an engine, this one from Amazon costs like $30 or so. Probably the worst $30 you could spend on building an engine. I genuinely wish I would have just spent the money and bought, I don't know, one from Summit for like 80 bucks or something. It did get the job done. Problem is the disc kind of does this as it goes through. And yeah, your rings can kind of get a little bit wonky. So, not a fan. As far as the block goes though, the bore and everything is good to go. It's ready for break-in, so the rings will seat and everything. Outside of that though, I think I have everything I need to at least get my short block assembled. I know I don't have a crank bolt, so I can't get the timing stuff done, but I should actually be able to throw the head on as well, because I think I have head bolts. Pretty much all my gaskets and everything are on this chair here. I did buy a whole gasket set from, I think it's like Apex or something, but my friend just did his WRX in here. He ended up having issues with his Apex seals. Every single one of them ended up leaking to some extent, so I will not be using them for at least a head gasket. Everything else is easy enough to reach. I decided to just send it on because I already have the set and I didn't really want to return it. So I'm using a male head gasket just because the OEM ones were kind of hard to get right now and kind of expensive once you get them from Edge. And even then, I literally live like 60 miles south of them, but they have hours, so don't really work with my schedule, and it's stupid expensive to have something shipped, so I'm not going to deal with that. So I'm going to move on to assembling this block. I need to get my pistons cleaned up, make sure the rods are good to go, start checking bearing clearances, just make sure those are all within spec, and then pretty much just start throwing pistons in. Then it's really not that far off. Actually, I have to get the crank assembled first. Other than that, though, I'm glad I'm finally on assembly. I've been really wanting to get onto this part of the process and see what can get done. I need a new turbo still. My turbo I checked before and has a little bit of in and out shaft play along with some side to side. I guess some side to side is fine. However, the other one I just bought has side to side, but it's bad enough it's touching the compressor housing, so that one's a dud. Go figure. Fortunately, I paid $100 for it, and there's a guy in the speed groups that buys them for $100, so kind of a break even there, just unfortunate. And then I'll also be selling mine. So I'm still in the market for a turbo. I eventually want to do a CTS 3, 4, something like that. I'm just not ready yet, just because I also had to buy a clutch, which I have on the way as well. Engine assembly, current task right now. I want to get the short block assembled, hopefully the whole long block assembled by the weekend. All right, getting started with this rebuild. First thing I'm going to be doing is going to be pulling off these main bolts here, so I can get the main bearings on, drop the crank in here, and then start checking clearances. So this thing's still pretty dirty. I did not really get a chance to clean it up that much, and then I just sprayed some mystery oil in there to keep the cylinders from rusting, so that needs to get cleaned up. And pretty much all my clean surfaces are covered. For the timing portion on here, this bolt that's coming through right here is going to be your cam position lock. I haven't really looked that close at it to see how it works, but I guess I will when it comes time to do it. Okay, I had to go hunting for my bearings, but I did finally find them. Let's get these guys opened, start kind of placing them. This large bearing here, this is going to be your center bearing that goes right here. Okay, all of the main bearings are now in. So the next step is going to be taking the crank and dropping it in here. And then I gotta put all of the bearings inside here. You can also measure these with an actual gauge that goes, so like if you put the main bearing caps down and then torque them down a bit, and then take a device that has like a little measuring rod on it, kind of like what you'd use to measure the cylinders. You can actually measure these individually. I just don't have it. So I'm gonna do it most likely with plastic gauge. I know it's not the most accurate, but it should suffice for what I'm trying to do here. But I need to get my crank cleaned up. I also gotta clean up the mains, so I'm gonna take a minute to do that. I need to get my crank cleaned up. I also gotta clean up the mains, so I'm going to take a minute to do that before I continue on the video. So 2 things happened as of the last time I hit the record button on this camera in the last 30 minutes or so. First one being, I made a mistake on here already. These bearings, there's actually 2 different ones in here. One of them is this guy here that has a groove in it with the holes for the oil, and this one that does not. This one goes on the main caps, this one goes on the block side, because the oil feeds are right here, and that is that's what the holes are for on here. So if you do this the opposite way, your bearing will get no oil. You get these little pieces on here. This is what it looks like, if you can even see it. It literally is just like a little red whisker for this. Kind of just place it on your crank on the bearing surfaces. Obviously don't put it on the rod ones because you're not measuring rods at the moment. Alright, so we're going to put this guy back on, make sure the arrow's going the right direction, which it is not. I'm going to very carefully set this guy down on here. So I wouldn't do that with a impact that could actually drive something down that hard. So it looks like on my initial search, it looks like these are going to be torqued down to roughly about 19 foot-pounds plus 90 degrees. So I'm going to do like 19 plus 45 and then break them all free and then see where we're sitting. Okay, so looking at these little splats on here, this will show us what the bearing clearance is. It looks like it squished it a good bit more than I thought it would. So putting the width on here, it looks like it's at 2 thou. That's how you measure these. So if you look at this little splat here, you can just kind of see it on the camera. Actually, it works a lot better if I put my hand here. You take that, and then you take your little gauge paper, and then you just hold it up to it and see where it's at. Okay, so after installing the mains, we were moving on at an incredibly slow rate, as expected, I guess. My big issue now is since I took my wrist pin out of piston number 4 in order to check and see if the wrist pins were the same size as my Eagle connecting rods, which they're not, I had to take this clip out of the top here for the wrist pin retainer and try to put it back in and eject it somewhere off that way, and I don't know where it is. So I ordered a new one. And go figure, they are slow to get here, so I can't install piston number 4. However, I can go ahead and get the other 3 installed with their rings and torque to spec and everything, make sure all the clearances are good to go. So that is what I'm going to do today. It just this one will be waiting until, I think tomorrow it should be delivered. It looked like it was actually moving pretty quick now that it's finally on the way. So I'm going to go ahead and take the rings off those pistons, and then we're going to drop them into the cylinders on here, and then measure bearing clearance on these. As long as everything looks good, then we'll get them installed, and I can at least get 3/4 of the way through, but that's kind of the limit of what I can do for the day. So moving on to the next step of assembling this block, it's going to be testing the bearing clearances on the connecting rod bearings. You're going to need these E12 bolts out. Once those are out, you have the connecting rod separated from the cap. I marked these, but really what these look like is kind of like, seems like they're kind of broken, like right down the center. There are no tangs on these bearings, so that's a thing. As far as like installing these goes, you're going to take the cap like this, you're going to take your bearing, make sure both of these surfaces are very clean, free of oil, and then just press it right down on here. You have your bearing in here. Just a thing to remember on these, spinning on this side is good, spinning on this side is bad. So that's why you don't want to put oil in here, because if this rotates, then that's where you start having issues with spun rod bearings and stuff like that. That's where the term comes from. So the main goal of this is to try and center these as much as you can. Once these are on here and everything looks good, I have arrows drawn on the top of my pistons. I'm going to go ahead and lower this guy down here with no rings on it to connect to my crank. So I have a piston right here along with the connecting rod. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to spin this part of the way around. So I now have the connecting rod here. It's kind of hard to see. I don't know if you can really even see it on there. I'm not really worried too much about cleaning this up 100% right now, just because I did clean it a couple times prior to this, and I'm not fully installing it right now. So my next step is going to be, now that I've finally found my plastic gauge, I have it kind of glued here with some assembly oil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this thing on the crank, preferably the right way, and then take the rod bolts, threading them on there. Rod and piston are actually trying to escape. Okay, so torque spec for these is going to be 252 inch-pounds plus 90 degrees. So first stage, I'm just going to do these to the 252. My goal is to not move the crank if at all possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just try and get these as close as possible without moving it. So I think if I support it down here, it should be good. I'm also only going to give these guys 45 just so I don't stretch them that much. Now that I have this much done on here, I want to go ahead and break these loose and take them back out, and then we're going to check the bearing clearance and see how it looks with the plastic gauge. Looks like we're at 0.002 exactly, which is perfect. Apparently the range for these is 001 to 002. This is like right in that sweet spot of 002, like right on the outer edges of it. So this has the perfect clearance. So I have these 3 pistons completely ready to go into the engine block. As far as the orientation goes for the rings, I drew some little arrows on here for kind of reminders, but you can just Google a picture of it. It's super easy to find. The first compression ring is going to be right at the top here. The second compression ring is going to be down here. Your oil control ring, which is this squiggly guy here, the range for it's going to be between the left and to the right of the top compression ring. You have about an inch or so of range for that. And then for your top ring, for the oil control rings, it's going to be right over here where the gap is. And then over here is going to be where the bottom ring is. You're going to want to do this in the opposite order, so you're going to want to start... Really, I found it a lot easier to start with the oil control ring here. I think it's like the expander, little squiggly guy. Start right here, and then throw your bottom ring on, then the top, then the second, and then the very top compression ring. If you have a pair of piston ring pliers like these will be a lifesaver. You can just get these at an auto parts store, which is actually where I bought these. These might even have been from Harbor Freight now I think about it. But they work very, very well. It's better than like running the risk of scratching up your piston. But as far as the installation goes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get everything completely cleaned up. I'm going to start fresh on the block itself, get all of the cylinder walls cleaned up. I got to go find my piston ring compressor, and then I just kind of use a cheap one. I know it's not the best, but it's kind of what I have right now. All right, so I have block cylinder 1 is completely cleaned out now. We're going to just give it some oil. Verify all of your rings are in the spots that you want. I'm going to take a bit of oil and just kind of pour it on this just to make sure I have enough oil coverage. So some YouTube magic, I have all the pistons installed. I ended up doing without a compressor. I don't really know how I did it, but I managed to get all 4 of them installed pretty okay. It was definitely kind of complicated, but I couldn't get a spring compressor in a reasonable amount of time. And yeah, they're expensive for the size specific ones. The other ones are ass, so I decided not to use those. So all of them are installed. They're all torqued to spec. The spec on them is going to be 252 inch-pounds plus 90 degrees. So it's not bad, but they are torqued to yield. I did end up reusing the bolts, which I think is probably fine. But I mean, if this thing blows up down the road, I guess we'll know why. Okay, so I have the oil pump on now as I kind of sped through there. The next part is going to be kind of getting this thing at top dead center as much as I can now, and then throwing the cylinder head on.